Title: The Last Stand of Eldoria. The sun hung low over the horizon, casting an eerie glow over the battlefield of Eldoria. The air crackled with tension as the armies of the Kingdom of Eldoria and the Dark Legion of Malakar faced each other across the scarred earth. The ground trembled beneath the weight of thousands of soldiers, their armor gleaming like stars against the twilight. At the forefront of the Eldorian ranks stood General Kalen, a warrior renowned for his strategic brilliance and unwavering courage. His piercing blue eyes scanned the enemy lines, where dark banners fluttered ominously in the wind. Opposite him, the sinister figure of Lord Thorn, the ruthless commander of the Dark Legion, raised his sword high, rallying his troops with a roar that sent chills down the spines of even the bravest Eldorians. Today, we fight not just for our lives, but for the very soul of Eldoria. Kalen shouted, his voice echoing across the battlefield. The soldiers of Eldoria erupted in a thunderous cheer, their spirits ignited by his words. But as the battle drums began to beat, a sense of foreboding settled over the field. The clash of steel rang out as the armies surged forward, a tide of humanity colliding in a storm of chaos. Spells crackled through the air, illuminating the darkening sky with flashes of blue and red. Warriors fell, their cries mingling with the roar of battle, but neither side would yield. In the midst of the turmoil, Kalen fought with a ferocity that inspired his men. He parried blows, struck down foes, and rallied his troops with every breath. But as the battle raged on, he noticed a strange glow emanating from the center of the battlefield. It pulsed like a heartbeat, drawing his attention away from the fight. Curiosity piqued, Kalen pushed through the throng of combatants, his instincts urging him to investigate. As he drew closer, he saw a shimmering portal opening above a stone altar, its edges crackling with energy. It was a relic of ancient magic, a gateway that could tip the scales of the battle. Lord Thorn, sensing the shift in the air, turned his attention to the portal. "No," he bellowed, his voice laced with desperation. "We cannot allow them to harness its power." Kalen, realizing the significance of the portal, made a split-second decision. He had to reach it before Thorn did. With a surge of adrenaline, he fought his way through the chaos, dodging spells and blades, his heart pounding in his chest. Just as he reached the altar, Thorn was upon him, their swords clashing with a deafening ring. "You think you can control it?" Thorn sneered, his dark magic swirling around him. "You will only bring about your own destruction." But Kalen was undeterred. "We fight for the light, and we will not be consumed by darkness." With a final, desperate strike, he broke Thorn's guard, sending the Dark Lord sprawling backward. As Thorn fell, Kalen turned to the portal, feeling its energy coursing through him. He raised his hands, channeling the magic of Eldoria, a power that had been dormant for centuries. The portal flared brighter, and a beam of light shot forth, enveloping the battlefield. In that moment, time seemed to freeze. The soldiers of both armies paused, awestruck by the radiant light that washed over them. Kalen's voice rang out, amplified by the magic, uniting the fractured forces. "This is our moment. Together, we can end this cycle of hatred and forge a new path for Eldoria." As the light enveloped the battlefield, something miraculous happened. The anger and fear that had fueled the conflict began to dissolve, replaced by a sense of understanding and unity. Soldiers from both sides hesitated, weapons lowering as they looked at one another, realizing the futility of their fight. In the aftermath, the battlefield transformed into a place of hope. The armies of Eldoria and Malakar stood together, united by the magic of the portal and the courage of one man. They had not just fought a battle, they had embraced a new beginning. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the land, Kalen turned to his fellow warriors, a smile breaking across his face. "We are no longer enemies. We are the guardians of Eldoria, and together, we shall protect our home." And so, the legend of the last stand of Eldoria was born, a tale of courage, unity, and the power of hope that would echo through the ages.